Good evening. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to the 20-minute fashion distraction. I am Jackie Jenkins. You know what we do every Wednesday night. We talk total fashion, and tonight is no different. I trust that everybody had a wonderful week, and as we are moving right along through the month of April, I hope that you are starting to feel the joys of spring. And tonight, I'm actually excited because what we're going to talk about is a word and a thought that has been on everybody's mind since 2020 and into 2021. And that word is pivot. And tonight, going to be joined with Tonia Lee. And Tonia Lee is going to talk about how you make pivots, transitions, and boss moves in your career. So I'm going to bring on Tonia. Hi, Tonia.
Hi, everyone. Hey, Jackie.
Good to see you. So normally I would read a bio. Hi, Claudia, but I'm not going to read the bio because we worked it out so that Tania is going to kind of weave the bio as we ask questions. But I do want to say this is that Tania and I went to business school together. And oh my goodness, I just had to quickly look at the time. And granted, neither one of us are aging at all, but it has been 25 years that we've known each other. And so that touches my heart.
Actually, it's two more because we were in school for 2 years and we have our 25-year anniversary.
Oh my goodness. Okay. so you're making it
scary. Yes. But I went to business school at 10. So that kind of works.
There you go. There, I was 12. So I totally get it. It was a lot of information for a young lady to take in at that time.
Exactly.
Hi, Van. I see my mom is here. Jocelyn's here. Leah's here. Hey, people. Hey. So we are going to get into it. I'm very excited to have this conversation because I just think 2021 is all about change. And tonight, and our classmate Wanda's here. And as we think about change, I want to hear from Tonia about that. So the first question is, what have been the major pivots, boss moves that you've made throughout your career?
Okay. So first of all, let me say thank you, Jackie, for having me on Fashion Distraction. I've been so excited all week. I remember you first started this and I said, oh, I think it should be on Saturday. You're like, no, it's going to be Wednesday night, and it has worked. So you were right and I was wrong. But to answer your question, it's a really good question. I originally from business school, like Jackie, had a finance career, and I was in investment banking. And then my next pivot, I left, and actually I was in equity research, and I was probably one of 3 women that I remember at the firm at the time. And I was the only Black woman, not surprising. And then from there, like we had 9/11, and I was like, I really don't want to work this hard anymore. And I was trying to figure out what to do. And the funny thing about how fashion fits into that decision is that I knew some women that were in media, and they were always so fly. I mean, like fly. And I said, okay, I like the way they can dress at their jobs.
We like the way they're moving.
I like the way they were moving, right? So I intentionally just started networking, and I got my job in strategy at the Weather Channel in Atlanta. And then from there, I was recruited to Turner Broadcasting for an opportunity in digital media, tangential, but not exactly the same. I moved back to Maryland. I stayed in media. I was in VP of Business Operations and Strategy at TV One, working for the CEO. And then I got recruited to be a general manager of a network in Baltimore. I started my own agency after that, which is Smackdown Digital. And so when you think about it, that sounds all so different, but actually there's a constant thread in that, and that I'm really good at being strategic in terms of big picture, figuring out where we're going and the roadmap, but quickly being operational and tactical in terms of knowing what needs to be done. And I think I've been able to kind of tell that story across all these things, because when you're analyzing companies as an analyst, you're thinking about their strategy, you're assessing their strategy, and you're assessing whether do you think this management team can make this strategy happen to a point where I would recommend this investment. And so when I made that pivot outside of finance, but in a strategy role in media, it was a perfect fit for me because I always was kind of this left brain, right brain person. And I think that's really one of my gifts, is that I can be analytical and highly creative in the same thread and switch between the two. And that, I think, commonality has allowed me in my corporate career to talk to both sides and really to be a bridge between those two things. So that's kind of how I did it. And the constant, I think, theme was strategy.
I love it. So our Sora Robin says hello. Hi, Robin.
Hi, Robin.
Judith says she loves your journey. You guys need to connect and do lunch. You all actually are in the same area, so you guys need to meet.
Okay, yeah,
My sister Jan is here. Hey, Courtney, and Dawn is here as well. And Dawn says you look fabulous. So Tonia did something that I thought was really fun, and we were talking about being intentional with our look as we make these transitions. And what Tonia did, she actually went back and pulled headshots from different career moves. So what I'd like you to do is talk about the headshot, what you intentionally wore, and what that transition was. Because the key takeaway here is we're thinking about making these boss moves. We want to make sure that our style is captured. So hold on, I'm going to pull up the images. Okay, so the first one.
That doesn't even look like me anymore. When I saw, I was like, "Oh, who is that person?" So situationally, I was pretty established in my media career at this point. I probably had been. Let me think about this. Had been in media for about 9 years. Okay. When I put this on, and I was actually working at an African American network, TV1, so kind of like a lot of freedom. But what I was very intentional in is wanting to look executive but still be creative. So I chose a leather jacket, a leather blazer.
I noticed
and that was
leather.
Intentional. Yeah, and so I'll give credit where credit's due. At Turner, we had a female CFO when I was there, and she had the baddest clothes, honey. But she always had great leather. Like I was like, oh my God, every woman would talk about her leather jackets. So I knew that was something that I felt kind of translated, because you're still jacketed, but it's an independence to it, right? And there's a confidence to actually wearing that. And I feel like I must have taken the photo in the fall, and that's why it's burgundy. And you'll see that my hair is like, I've typically worn my hair shorter in a bob. And so that, and I will say, I remember I had to run to the Saks or something, get my makeup done in time for the headshot. So I was very intentional in how I wanted to present it all.
Okay, so 2 things I wanted to hit on that. One, you're absolutely right about leather and creating confidence, but also creating, I think, not as formal of a look, right?
Yes.
And one of the things that's nice about leather right now is that the faux leather is really doing quite well. And so if you wanted to kind of create that look with faux blazers, definitely doable. The other thing that you mentioned is actually using a makeup artist for your headshots. Can you just quickly touch on that? And then we're going to go to the next picture.
Well, what's so interesting about it is that, so I'm in media, so I'm around in makeup a lot, and it's something that people definitely spend on. And for me, I just decided I'm just going to spend the money and, go to a counter and get it done on my way to the studio. Now, in COVID, I've had to, and you'll show this headshot, I've had to do my own makeup for a couple of headshots. And so I can do it if I focus on it. I don't love to do it, right? Like I totally would rather have someone professionally do it. But it definitely finishes the look, I believe.
Absolutely. Okay, so what's going on in this pic?
Okay, well, I was younger. So this photo is an important photo because this was my first job where I was promoted to a VP in media. Okay. And what you'll notice is this is a pretty conservative. I'm thinking I actually had on a suit. I think it was a skirt suit, a gorgeous kind of tweed, Chanel inspired kind of tweed suit.
Yep.
And what I remembered is I wanted to be jacketed, but I look good in color. I think media translates really well in color. A lot of people wear color in media. So I think that's kind of what this says. And what you'll notice also, I think in this photo, I intentionally didn't want jewelry on my neck. That was a decision that I made.
And so why no jewelry? Why no jewelry?
I felt like it was going to be too much and take away from the jacket at the time.
Got it.
And my visual kind of saw that. And in that photo, Turner had a makeup artist. Like we had a huge studio. Like there was a whole image department. So the makeup artist did it on site for me. So that was professional makeup as well.
Talk to me about this one.
Oh, I really like this one. So this photo is so situationally, by this time, I had already run a network. And I say that to you because I think this is a very bold fashion choice for a headshot to have this much floral. I had left a network. I really was in transition, but I knew I was going to start my agency. And I really wanted something that just protected confidence and boss moves. And I maybe had bought that. That is actually a coat that I made into a dress and belted.
Oh my.
Yes. So I remember putting it in the closet, and that morning I was like, I want to wear this. And when I got to the studio, the photographer was like, oh my God, I love your dress. I'm going to put you on a dark sofa so all of that color pops. And I just think it translated so well. And I think this is the photo that I actually use for my headshot on my Smackdown Digital website. And I think it really does. And I hope you guys can see that evolution in style and being very out there in that outfit.
Yeah, I know Courtney's like the yellow was warmed, and Wanda loves the floral and so creative about it. So now this picture, we're coming up onto where we are now. So talk about this. And I think it's a bold move to do a headshot on a sofa, but we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah, okay. So this one, so I first gotten exposed to the sofa look at the last picture. And that studio, I'd never been there. They just had a sofa, and it literally fell into place. And so this photo, just so you guys know, my 9-to-5 job, I'm actually in wealth management, and I made that decision a year ago, and I also run my agency. But I say that to you to say, when I knew I needed a new headshot for my practice, I didn't really want to abandon my creativity. But I could see that a floral dress might connotate a lack of seriousness, right? So my compromise was, and I think I'd shared this with you, Jackie. I was like, I see white, black, and pink. And what you don't see in that shot is I have a pink suede pump on that you don't see in the shot. So I go, I'm in this white jacket, kind of vesty top, black pant, pink shoe. I get there, they had a pink sofa. I said, this is God.
This is perfect. So wait a minute. What time of year? Because I want to talk about the choice to do a headshot wearing white, which was a total boss move. What time of year was it?
Ooh.
And Van says, excellent color choices. Yes, yes, yes.
November. I feel like I took that in November.
So once again,
I was terrified of going, but I needed a shot for work. I had to launch my website. So it was like, I've got to go do this, all masked up, and it was safe. But so I had done research online, and I think I Googled like female corporate headshots. And what I was drawn to that I loved was the white look. And for me, my practice is very much focused on women. So I wanted something that was an ode to women and women's suffragists and women's rights and women's progression. So it was just in my head that was like directionally a way to go. And then I love the way it came out.
Yeah, and it's not a winter white; it's a white. To your point, it's a suffrage white, which is very, very, very stunning. So, talk about your top 5 fashion tips and go-to spots. Now that we've got everybody all excited about how you think about getting headshots done, what are your top? Where are you shopping? What's in your closet, and how did it get there?
Okay, so as I shared with Jackie, I'm an eBay fiend. I don't like shopping in the store. Like, I'm eBay, new with tags, pretty good condition. I've probably shopped like that since 2013. I started shopping on eBay. That's my number one go-to. Now, I'll say, in order to do that successfully, you kind of have to know your designers and your size too, right? And so, I went through a period when I first was on eBay. I loved Diana Furstenberg. I loved Tory Burch. And I kind of knew what my size was in that. And now I've shifted to a lot of Lafayette that I buy, particularly his leathers, on eBay. And then the other thing is, I'm a good TJ Maxx, Marshalls. I'll roll through there, see what's going on. But what I find is I don't like shopping anymore. I just don't like it.
Mhm.
Like I don't like physically going to the store. So I'm finding that I've begun this process of curating things and keeping carts at all these different stores. And then I noodle on it for a month or so, and then I pull the trigger. So my favorites, I love H&M. I love H&M sequins. This is H&M. I think good value, just very stylish stuff. During COVID, I did a lot of color cotton for
Mhm.
work. So, I probably had a jean on the bottom, but I had a gorgeous, like, colorful cotton blouse on top. So those are kind of the things that I do. So I would probably say like 50% of the things in my closet right now are either eBay, H&M, and some things I've just probably carried over that are good classics that I probably did buy at Nordstrom at some point, but not so much anymore.
So, wait a minute, you quickly mentioned keeping things in your cart. What
Hmm.
does that mean? What does that mean?
Okay, so Um, I don't like shopping outside, but I do love shopping online. And so, like, I'll, think, oh, in each season, I'm typically thinking about how do I want to fill in. I want some trend, but not all of it. And
Mhm.
so, the places that I like, let's say in H&M, if I go and I see some stuff and my size is in, I put it in my cart. I might not buy it then. I also put things in my cart on eBay. And I think about it, and some of that is around probably the business that I'm in and being very budget and finance conscious and making sure I'm not making impulsive purchases. And then putting in my cart allows me to think about it. And more times out of not, I do go back and buy it, but it allows me to kind of think about it and think about, well, what else is that going to go with before I buy it? And I love that. It's kind of curating. It's like
Mhm.
where Pinterest meets shopping, curating in the cart. I think it's a
That's nice.
great approach. Yeah.
That's nice. So, for our fashionistas out there, and I thank you guys for being here. I see Van's here, Leah's here, the ones here. Can you, Tania, share words of advice for anyone that is thinking about a pivot, a transition, a boss move at this stage?
Yeah. So, there's a couple of things. So I feel like I think you guys and I'm so glad I found the photos. So I think you guys can see the journey, right? And I think the boldness has come with experience. I can't say I was that person in my 20s. Like, I think in my 20s and 30s, I knew the exact right outfit for work, right? Like, so for
Mhm.
example, in the 90s, it was Tahari and these cute little Ferragamo shoes. I mean, I've always had the right outfits. And then as I matured in my career and I established my style, one of the things, I mean, I've been in jobs where the thing that I liked about the job was getting up and putting on my clothes. I didn't really like the job. Like that motivated me to go. So for
Yep.
me, I think it's taken some time. Like I'm probably, experienced in my career. And when um I'm always thinking about, and this is something that when I was in banking, you guys may have heard of Carla Harris at Morgan Stanley. She's very successful in finance. And I remember my career in banking, seeing her speak, and what she said was, as a woman, and she was working on these huge deals like Dow Corning and DuPont, and just big deals for a woman generally, and definitely for a Black woman. And one of the things she said is when she had to go meet with these big old boy, good old boys in Texas, she would just have all of her fine ring on, like
Yeah.
it was on point. And
Yeah.
she said what she learned is that, and the reason she intentionally did that is that when people are looking at you, they're listening to you.
Mhm.
And so as women, that is a tool and a strength that we should really lean on, is the femininity, right? Is
Mhm.
using that as a source of power. And so as I think I've matured in my career, I've become much more confident with being a woman in anybody's workplace. I don't sacrifice that. I'm going to wear what I'm going to wear. No, I can moderate a little situationally, but I think it really projects confidence. And when people think you're confident, they think you're competent. And I think that's always
Wow.
what I'm thinking about when I get dressed, for any day for work, like, that I'm being perceived as competent and capable, but also creative. I've definitely been in creative industries as well. And so even if I were in a more conservative industry, I'd shared with Jackie, I'd probably wear a black suit and a colorful pump. I don't see me sacrificing it, but so much.
Mhm.
But I think for us, it's really important to really hone in and embrace our femininity because it's incredibly powerful. if utilized strategically.
Mm-hmm. Well, whenever you embrace who you are a much stronger presenter. You're a
Yes.
much stronger person to connect with. I mean, everybody talks about being authentic, but there is something
Yeah, there's
about
something to that. Yeah.
it.
Yeah, there is something about that. And I've also learned that I look best in color. That really works for me.
Mm-hmm.
When I have some type of pop of color, right?
Yeah.
And so I've kind of stuck to that as well. And for me, it's very emotive too. When I get up, it's like I've never been the person that could lay out their clothes at night, because by the morning I'm not feeling that. It's all here.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't
It'd
feel
be a
that anymore.
different state, different
Right.
state.
Yeah. So I definitely think it's a very emotional thing for me too, and coming from a place of creativity.
Yeah. Well, we are at 20 minutes.
Okay.
Your comments were amazing. I loved your point of the 3 C's: confidence, competence, and
Creativity, was it?
creativity. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. So I say this every time at the end of the show, there are things that we can't get back, and time is one of them. So I
Yes.
thank you, Tonia, for sharing your time and talent with us. I thank the audience once again for coming back every Wednesday. Next week, we're going to the West Coast, and we're going to be talking about, we're going to be meeting with the founder of Era 18 Boutique, the really cute boutique bags that you see
Oh,
on
wow.
the Instagram. So more to come on that.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Okay.
blessed week. Tania, hang on, and I will see you next week.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Tania. Hold on.